You with the one and only boxing guru. For this episode of Under the Microscope, we're going to focus in on Shakur Stevenson, big fight that he's having at home in Newark, New Jersey against Robson. This is a major bout that's going down for Shakur after his unified victory over Oscar Valdez. A lot of people thought that this should have been the unified bout anyway because they thought Robson beat Oscar Valdez. But I thought it played out like it's supposed to. Oscar should have got the fight. You know, now Robson get his opportunity. I don't think it would be no difference in this fight. I look for Shakur Stevenson to win this fight. I believe the matchmaking over at Top Rank Boxing is excellent. They done made a lot of champions, you know, just on the science and the art of boxing, where they matched each opponent correctly. They matched them up perfectly, so their top fighter can look good against the fighters that they fighting. In my opinion, I just believe Robson, even though he's a Brazilian Olympic gold medalist, I think they said he was that. He just get a little sloppy with his punches. His punches is not straight. Now, if his punches were straight, then I would say he has an excellent chance of beating Shakur Stevenson, but I don't see that because it's wide looping shots. I think Shakur Stevenson in and out range, his defense of being in and out against Robson, he gonna catch Robson in between those wide looping shots, and that's gonna be the difference in the fight. And plus, once Shakur start moving, because Robson, he's so tall and long, he gonna force Shakur to move more than Shakur typically does. So this gonna be very critical in this fight, and that's how Shakur gonna be able to get in and score hooks and body shots that Shakur normally does. That's why I look for Shakur Stevenson to win this fight in a unanimous decision. No knockout, but Robinson definitely get clipped a lot. You know, Oscar Valdez had him hurt, and Shakur is definitely, you know, getting stronger by the minute. You know, as far as filling in as a man, he getting his man strength. So Shakur could rock Robinson, because Robinson definitely does get sloppy and throw wide punches, and then sometimes he leave his chin exposed. So Shakur could rock him and keep him at bay, but I look for this fight to go the distance. This fight is very critical because I always said they trying to make this fight up to be this is the fight for supremacy, because Shakur Stevenson has been fighting Mexican flat-footed type of fighters. You know, that's how his claim to fame has been over those type. But Robinson has a different style than theirs. You know, he's long, he can move a little bit, and he throws more punches. So that's why they trying to build this fight up as this is the fight for supremacy. I disagree totally. I've been telling everybody for the longest that the junior lightweight fight for supremacy would have been Shakur Stevenson versus Albert the Prince Bell from my hometown of Toledo, Ohio. Um, a lot of people may not know Albert, but Albert was fighting under the top ranked banner, and he held a card with Robinson when they fought. It was a card back in last year. It was August, I think August or April the 21st, where Albert fought Manuel Reyes, and Robinson fought, I forgot who he fought, but Robinson was undefeated at the time, and Albert still is undefeated. So in my opinion, I thought that fight was going to lead up to Albert and Robinson fighting, so they can propel themselves to the spot to fight the winner of Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. I thought that's what the matchmaking over at ESPN was trying to lead up to do and build up to do. It would have been excellent. But in my opinion, like I've been saying for the longest, the matchmaking over at ESPN knows what I've been talking about. Albert Bell would have definitely been the fight for supremacy against Shakur Stevenson. in my opinion. I think that's why Albert got pushed away from the equation, because you have to understand that the matchmaking over at ESPN definitely had invested a lot in Shakur Stevenson with him and Jay Prince and Bob Arum. So they kind of like mapped out his career to the title. And since Albert was campaigning at 130 pounds, it would have been like everybody else now would have been saying what I'm saying. That would have been the fight for supremacy, because I believe Albert the Prince Bell is way better than Robinson. That's why they didn't link that fight up at the time, because that should have been the route they went. It could have been a double headline. Albert could have co-featured him, and Robinson could have co-featured the fight with Shakur and Valdez, or whoever Shakur fought after April or August 21st, when Albert and Robinson fought on the same card. But like I said, they already know what Albert the Prince Bell brings to the table as far as getting in that square circle with Shakur Stevenson. So that's why I always mention this, but this is very critical in this fight, because even if Albert would have still been under ESPN banner, he would have been up next if Shakur wasn't going to unify. And the two other champions is not with Top Rank. So that would have been intriguing. So the other two champs could have started out, and the next person up the bat would have been Albert the Prince Bell. Whether he went before Robinson or after him, he would have been next, because Shakur is definitely going to be Robinson. It would have been Albert up the bat. But see, the Top Rank management and matchmaking, see, they already know all this. See, I'm just trying to get a lot of the casual boxing fans who don't understand the road to the championship for a lot of fighters is already pre-mapped out and basically laid out for their star opponent, because they already know they have other pawns that they sign that's going to, fill in until the king arrives. And the king right now is Shakur Stevenson. But like I said, for the fight for supremacy, it would have been him and Albert the Prince Bell. And that's why this fight on September 23rd is very critical for Shakur and Robinson. But Shakur definitely will win this fight, in my opinion, by unanimous decision. It will go into the later rounds, because Shakur and Robinson is 5'10", very tall and rangy, but sloppy punches. So that's why I lean for Shakur to win this fight by decision. These are the words for the one and only boxing guru. You have to remember how Albert Bell was definitely linked up into Shakur Stevenson, even though a lot of people didn't understand it when I first did that videos about Shakur and Albert the Prince Bell for supremacy. But if you go back and check out ESPN matchmaking, like I said, when Albert and Robinson fought on that same card, that was the pivotal moment where they decided, in my opinion, to head in a different direction with Albert the Prince Bell, because that would have been critical. Because, like I said, Albert already had just knocked off undefeated Andy Vincent. So that's made a big statement, because they probably was trying to build him up to, for a Shakur fight. That would have looked good, because Vincent would have brought in, top revenue. But since he had lost, that threw a monkey wrench. And then that put the light under and put Albert under the microscope, of being a dangerous fighter. And so that's why this fight on September 23rd would tell all the truths about what went on behind the closed door. These just my opinions, but facts, you can't hide facts sometimes, and the dates and everything line up. And like I said, when I mentioned this couple years ago, I think it was a couple years ago, Albert and Shakur, a lot of people thought I was fishing, but as the process and the wheel keep turning, you definitely can see that it has some truth to what I was saying, because Albert definitely is a excellent top boxer, and I would love to see him and Shakur Stevenson get in that square circle and fight for supremacy at 130 pounds. These are the words of the one and only boxing guru. Here's video of, not video, a photo of Albert Bell's box wreck. It shows you that on 4/10 of 21, that's when him and Robson had the same fight on the same card. So this is very important to this major bout between him and Shakur.
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 Come get it.